Okay, you probably didn't expect to see a symphonic score on the screen in one of my videos. So let me tell you why that's there. I went to the symphony last week, and I think that experience must have been stuck in my subconscious because this morning I realized that a symphony is a great analogy for market value and for the appraisal process. And it really can highlight some of the problems that we experience as appraisers. And also, I believe can be a really helpful analogy in order for me to frame the holistic adjustment technique. I've been talking a lot about this. I've been breaking it down in pieces, but I think it's hard for people to get the big picture. And so I wanted to use this analogy to help you to understand not just that method, but actually the problem of real estate appraisal. And so let's consider this. If we have a symphony, we have lots of different musicians that are combined together to create the symphony. Well, let's imagine that the symphony, the way it's supposed to sound, the intention of the composer, that is market value. That's what the score is the shape of the market. And the sound is market value. So what if we took each one of these individual lines and say that's a musician and they can learn their line in the score very well, but each line in the score isn't the symphony. Each line in the score will not really help you even to know what the symphony sounds like. You may hear a melodic line here or there, but you don't really know, is that the melody, or is that the harmony, or is that background texture? We don't know. And it gets even more chaotic if we get all of these musicians in the same room and we tell them to play the symphony, but we put earplugs in theirs. They can't hear each other. They can't see each other. Maybe we put blinders on them. If you do that, it's going to sound terrible. And what you get is not the symphony. So what we have typically done as an industry, if we want to think of each one of these lines as maybe a component of value, maybe, and you can think of it as an adjustment. So you can analyze an adjustment really well. You can be the expert musician. I'm going to learn my line very precisely. But that will still not tell you market value. When you ensemble them together, it's not going to sound like the symphony. And what we have tended to do is a couple of different strategies. One of the main strategies is, well, it sounds terrible when all these musicians are in the room playing together. Let's just ask a few of them to leave. Let's just get rid of a few. Let's simplify. It's going to sound better. It's going to be less chaotic, but it's still not the symphony. And so what we need to do is think of what is needed in this case. Well, what's needed is the conductor. We need a conductor to walk in the room, tell every musician, take your earplugs out so you can hear everybody else, take your blinders off so you can see me, and I'm going to conduct the symphony. And when the conductor is present with those musicians, then what you will hear is the symphony as the composer intended. And that is what the holistic adjustment technique is. It's a conductor. We bring the musicians present in lots of different ways, through different forms of analysis, through our experience, through maybe an ensemble of different analyses. And what we need to know, though, is that they will never individually or even as a partial ensemble really fully be able to reflect what the symphony is, to reflect what market value is. And when I describe the holistic adjustment technique, if you've just maybe you're just hearing about it for the first time, or maybe you've watched some of my videos and you're like, I kind of see what you're saying, but how does this fit? Is this replacing something? Is this adding to something? What is going on here? And I want you to think of what we have as an industry, especially regarding the sales comparison approach. That's really what I'm focused on. We have all of these individual features that we can demonstrate that they impact value, and but we've never had a way in order to effectively bring a conductor into our analysis to mesh them together so that we can actually understand market value collectively in a way that wasn't possible before. And so I just submit this as hopefully a helpful analogy. I think as you maybe think through all analogies break down at some point, of course, but even take holistic adjustment technique out of it. I think you can see in that analogy that if we just focus more and more on, I have to prove this adjustment, that's not going to get you there. That's not going to be able to by itself reflect market value. And so yeah, I hope that's helpful. Let me know if this clarifies anything or if I just muddied the water even more. Thanks for watching.